savage mode right now. He's in savage mode. If I was Jake Paul right now, I would be shitting my pants.
Oh, bro. Joe Rogan has just attacked Jake Paul after seeing new Mike Tyson training footage, and it's sending the fight world into a frenzy. Joe Rogan just dropped a nuke on Jake Paul. After seeing the latest Mike Tyson training footage, the UFC commentator is sending chills down Jake's spine. Tyson looks absolutely insane in the gym. He's like a caged animal, and Rogan's warning is crystal clear. Jake better pray Tyson doesn't land that perfect shot. This isn't just hype. It's a cold, hard reality check for the YouTuber turned boxer. Let's break it down. Joe Rogan has issued a chilling warning to the problem child after new videos of Iron Mike hitting the pads started making rounds on the internet. Looks like the baddest man on the planet is back from his health hiccup, and boy, he's not letting anything hold him back now. Iron Mike has taken an oath to destroy Jake Paul's entire career in the ring, and he's gearing up like a beast. Yeah, it's not looking good for the former Disney star, and Rogan is being a good Samaritan by telling Paul what he's up against. Now let's face the facts. Love it or hate it, Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul will be seeing the light of the day on November 15th at the AT&T Arena in Arlington, Texas. Netflix will be streaming the blockbuster fight live for everyone to see, and the whole fight world will be tuning in. It's a big money fight for both boxers, especially Paul, who has a knack for matchups that bring him big bucks and endless fame. This bout is the fight of Paul's dreams, and he's got a whole fantasy outcome for it, thinking he'll knock down Mike Tyson. Yep, you heard that right. Well, someone show Jake Mike's new training footage because he's in for a beating.
Day 2, we're getting ready for you.
There's no denying that Iron Mike is one of the scariest people alive. Come on, let's be real. This guy has a reputation that precedes him. We're talking about a man who bit off an ear in the ring. That's not something you forget. If you think for 1 second that this guy is past his prime and couldn't hang with Jake Paul, you're living in a fantasy world. Tyson is a different breed, a pure savage when he steps into the ring. Age is just a number, and this old lion still has plenty of teeth. Joe Rogan is basically the president of the Mike Tyson fan club. The guy's obsessed with Iron Mike. So when the Tyson versus Paul fight was announced, Rogan was not happy. I mean, who can blame him? We all want to see Tyson make a triumphant comeback, but fighting a YouTuber? That's just wrong. Tyson deserves better. He's a legend of the sport, and he should be facing other legends, not internet celebrities. As much as we'd love to see Jake Paul get his ass handed to him, let's not waste Tyson on him. There are plenty of other boxers out there who deserve a shot at the Iron Man, guys who've earned their stripes, who've paid their dues. Let's save Tyson for a real fight, a fight that will actually matter. We don't need to see a legend tarnished by fighting a guy who's basically a glorified YouTuber. Joe Rogan doesn't mince words when it comes to Jake Paul's boxing skills. He's been pretty vocal about the YouTuber turned boxer, calling his abilities mediocre at best. We've seen plenty of fights that show just how basic Jake's style is. He's more of a showman than a fighter. He's good at talking the talk, but can he walk the walk against a real boxer? That's the big question. Jake's managed to build a career out of calling out big names and luring them into money fights. He's a master of self-promotion, no doubt about it. But when it comes to actually fighting seasoned professionals or even just guys who are at the top of their game, he's way out of his depth. He's acting like the king of the world based on wins against washed-up MMA fighters and other YouTube personalities. It's time for the real world to check him. Now, if there's one person who can terrify people while pushing 60s, it's Mike Tyson. Look at him hitting those pads with his brutal fists. It's clear that Mike is still the man who became the youngest heavyweight champion of all time. The boxing legend was in his prime around 30 years ago, but he's looking better than ever still. In 2020, Iron Mike made an appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience. The athlete was 300 pounds and not hitting the gym. A few months later, he put up pen on paper to get into the ring with Roy Jones Jr., and we saw the man become a whole new person getting ready for the big fight. Mike's like a chameleon who can change forms depending on when he's stepping into the ring, and we've seen numerous examples of him doing that. The boxing legend never shies away from putting in extra effort in training. It doesn't matter if his opponent is a seasoned boxer or a newbie YouTuber turned boxer. Mike treats everyone the same. He believes every challenge is just as tough as the last one, and this is how the man stays humble. If anything, Jake can learn a thing or two from him. We're 2024, and 60-year-olds nowadays are nothing like the old people back in the day. Well, that's all thanks to hormone replacement therapies. Mike's undergoing this treatment, and it can be the big factor that helps him come out on top in his upcoming fight with Paul. Yeah, he's freaking Mike Tyson, but he's stepping in with a 27-year-old at the old age of 58. He's going to need all the help he can to make sure his body keeps up with his mind. Enter hormone replacement. Even Joe Rogan has advocated the benefits he's reaped by going through the HRT treatment.
It's a game changer.
Oh,
It's-
yeah.
It's a different thing. Like,
Oh, yeah.
A 57-year-old man today, like Mike Tyson, it's like, that's not a 57-year-old
Bro.
man.
The thing about old people today, like that's what's interesting about this Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight. Old people today have hormone replacement. Hormone replacement is a game changer. It doesn't end here. Mike is really giving this bout his all. He's not going to give the YouTuber turned boxer any edge in the ring at all. Now, unless you've been living under a rock, I'm sure you know that Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul was initially scheduled for July 20th. But Mike had to pull out from the bout last minute due to a health emergency. Mike had an ulcer flare-up on a cross-country flight from Miami to Los Angeles. So the problem child decided to share the ring with bare-knuckle brawler Mike Perry instead. Now, unless you've been out of the loop, I'm sure you're aware that Jake Paul's fight with Mike Perry was another one of his carefully orchestrated charades. He stepped into the ring with a visibly weaker opponent and, surprise, surprise, picked up a win. The problem child secured a 6th-round KO victory, and while he was expecting everyone to sing his praises, the boxing world remained unimpressed. It was another case of style over substance. If he thinks he can pull the same stunt with Mike Tyson, he's in for a rude awakening. The boxing world has seen through his act, and facing a legend like Tyson will expose him for the fraud he is. Joe Rogan is straight up warning Jake Paul that he's signed up for his funeral. The UFC commentator isn't pulling any punches. He's telling Jake that he's in over his head, and he's about to get a reality check like never before. Paul hasn't fought anyone remotely close to Tyson's caliber. We're talking about a generational talent, a force of nature. Tyson's speed, power, and experience are on another level. Jake's fancy footwork and flashy combinations are going to be useless against Iron Man's raw aggression and precision. Rogan believes that this dude only needs 70% of what he had to be capable of sending Paul crashing onto the canvas. Take the word from the man himself, and the UFC commentator said, if he's physically capable of recapturing 70% of what he used to do, just dealing with that 90% of the power will be a problem for Paul. 70% of the physical ability and 90% of the power. Because the power is not gone, you see it when he hits the bag. The power is there 100%. There are levels to this sport, and Jake has been skipping them. He's been cherry-picking opponents, taking on guys who are past their prime or simply don't belong in the ring with him. But Tyson is a different beast entirely. This isn't a YouTuber or a washed-up MMA fighter. This is a legend who redefined the heavyweight division. Jake doesn't make the rules here, and he needs to stop acting like he does. He's about to learn a harsh lesson about respect and humility. Tyson's power is legendary. With one punch, he can change the course of a fight in an instant. Jake's chin has been tested, but never against someone like Tyson. One clean shot, and it's lights out. This fight has the potential to be a career-defining moment for both fighters, but for very different reasons. For Tyson, it's a chance to prove he still has what it takes. For Jake, it's a chance to expose himself as a manipulator who has tricked the whole boxing community into thinking he's a pro. The boxing world is losing it as the fight is getting closer by the day, because fans simply don't know what to expect. Hear me out, there's too much going on. We're getting Mike Tyson's highly anticipated comeback, but at the same time, he's stepping in with an influencer. It's all over the place. The craziest part is the fact that this is a legitimate fight, so it's going on their professional records. We've still got a lot to discuss here. Is Iron Mike tarnishing his legacy by stepping into the ring with a Paul brother? He's got no titles to his name, no championships, nothing. Last year, when Mike was beefing with John Fury ahead of the Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou mega crossover, fans thought that Mike was done and staying out of the ring for good. John offered him every possible thing he could to get the old man to fight him, but he refused. And as crazy as it sounds, Mike Tyson versus John Fury would have still made way more sense than Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. At least the age difference wasn't as scary. Well, whatever the case may be, Jake Paul has dug his own grave and he's about to go down. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see how this one plays out. So, what are your thoughts on Joe Rogan attacking Jake after seeing the new Mike Tyson training footage? Make sure to fill the comment section with your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more boxing news. See you in the next video.